I love problems, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not a problem starter.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe. But I used to be afraid of them. I used to be terrified of problems. But now I look at problems as really an opportunity. Because if we can come on the other side of it and say, whoa, we just fixed something that was broken for a long time. Yeah. I think that's the true meaning of, I don't like to say leadership. I think it's like humanship.
Right.
Just being a human, right? Just let's get to the other side. And, I guess I always wanted to be an ambassador, like an actual, like real ambassador of some country to the United States, or the United States to some country. And it's funny how for me, God moves things. And, just keeps things on track. And, you find different ways to give your gift.
Welcome to YMI Talking, a podcast where the guests are so good, you'll wonder why the host is even talking. In each episode, you will hear one of the leaders of the Lehigh Valley's vibrant business hub. They will tell you the keys to their success, the mistakes they've made, and what they have in store for the future. Here is the host of YMI Talking, from YMI Insurance, Jimmy Honachik.
I'm Jimmy, and we are back with this episode was amazing. I'm Jimmy, like I mentioned already. Avery Pennell is here joining me.
Hi, guys.
And do you know what's coming up?
Give me a hint. Oh, man, that can only be one thing. Christmas.
Yeah, okay. What is the greatest holiday of all time?
I know we're going to argue on this one. Of all time?
Of all time. You're wearing a brown sweater. It is almost Thanksgiving time. So this feels like a pretty easy question to answer.
It does, but this is just throwing everybody off.
Yeah.
I am in disguise right now.
Okay.
As soon as Halloween's over, I'm playing Christmas music.
Okay.
In fact, I've already started, if I'm being honest.
If you wouldn't mind leaving, that would...
No, absolutely.
Okay. Thanksgiving is my favorite, without a doubt.
Shocker. You like to eat?
I was telling you. My daughter was like, Dad, you just like Thanksgiving because you like to eat a lot. And I was like, yep, that's a lot of the reason why. It's amazing.
Kind of Thanksgiving.
And the food's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who cooks?
My mom usually does. We all got it from my mom. This will be the first year. It's not at the house I grew up in. So it's a whole new experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's it going to be with?
My parents are still going to host. But their apartment building has like a big rec center area that they can rent out. So we're going to do it.
They better get on that.
Yeah.
Make sure nobody else has gone to it first.
Yeah, for real.
Can I get an invite?
Yeah, it's in the mail.
It's in
the mail. Just wait for it.
All right, got it. I'll give it about 5 to 6 business days.
Did you see in this episode how I tried to get an invite to the Bieber Reynolds Thanksgiving celebration?
I did. That was embarrassing for you.
Yeah, no one is letting me in there, but I'll keep trying.
You know what? One day.
Yeah.
One day people will bring in more food.
But I only try to get in because Sandra Bieber, who this episode is with,
wonderful lady,
it was so incredible.
Amazing.
Right? Like, blew me away. Like, I knew a little bit about her from 40 Under 40, and she does, the ambassadors, and she's over at Lehigh Valley. But it was incredible.
The moment she stepped into the office, I was like, I love this woman.
The energy changed, right?
It did. I was like, I'm awake.
You're stuck with me. And then she comes in. It's like, oh, look out.
I was like, please stay.
Help. Yeah. So let's stop talking and just go into that episode because it was great.
It's amazing.
So here we go. Sandra Bieber.
Go, go, go.
Oh. All right, we are about to dive into what I know already is going to be a phenomenal episode. We try not to talk before these episodes start because all the good stuff ends up getting talked about. And if this episode is awful, it's because so much good stuff has already happened. Sandra Bieber is a ball of energy. She does so much in the area. 40 Under 40, Discover Lehigh Valley. I could go on and on and on, but I don't want to. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your story. I want to dive into this. So Sandra, thank you so much for coming on here.
First of all, Jimmy, you do not have to say all that, but thank you. I appreciate it. I'm really humbled to be on this podcast. This is the second podcast in 2 weeks. So I'm 2 for 2 ever. So I'm, really loving this. And I'm just, what's great is that we're able to have conversations, right, with people. And we're so grateful to be in the space together to be able to do that. And yeah, I just want to just share what we're doing here at Discover Lehigh Valley. We're, and then the community is in general. But one thing to note is that the Lehigh Valley is thriving, thanks to people like you, thanks to amazing leaders and students and just people that want to see growth and change happen.
Yeah. Well, I had to get you on. So we're both recipients. Is that the word, recipients?
Yep.
Yes. Recipients. Thank you. Of the Lehigh Valley 40 Under 40.
Yes.
And,
congratulations to you.
Thank you. They give a little spiel on the person, and mine was okay. It's like, Jimmy is kind of cool. He has a podcast. And then yours came on, and I was like, oh my God, like unbelievable just hearing your background and everything that you've done. So that was really the impetus for me to reach out and get you on here. So let's start at the very beginning, because we got a lot of ground to cover. You were born in Cairo.
Yeah.
So talk to me, I guess, maybe about your roots to Egypt, and then the move here, and just what the Lehigh Valley means to you and all of that.
Yeah. So first of all, what to be here, to be in this space right now, this is the product of so many people that have gotten ahead and helped me get ahead, and helped me to just really take a look at what I'm really good at. And that's talking to people and helping people. And, when I immigrated here with my family when I was 5 years old, we left everything behind. We left my beautiful grandmother, who has since passed, but my family, my aunts and uncles and cousins, and our network, right? Our network. And when I say network, I'm talking about network, like deep roots. And of course, the amazing food and culture and what we know. So I think that's the thing about the immigrant story, is that people are like, oh, they just immigrated here. But you have to literally pack up all your stuff, go into the unknown of something that you have no idea. Like, for example, when we came here when I was 5 years old, and 5 is an interesting age, because you're kind of awake and you're like, I see things, I understand, things are spoken to you. We didn't know what Halloween was, by the way.
Right.
Okay. So we came from Cairo, and we were dropped in, we had family in Pennsylvania. It's beautiful in this time of, you see the leaves turning, you see all Thanksgiving and all that. So we came in July. And so I had no idea how to speak English, by the way. Wow. So I speak Arabic, a little bit of Spanish, but in Arabic, I speak 5 dialects, and I understand 5 dialects. There's 22 dialects in Arabic, by the way. I got to get to the 22, but I'm good with 5 right now. And so we got in July, and I didn't really understand how to speak English. So how do I speak English? I'm like, okay, we watch cartoons. So like, if you're a 90s kid, you're like, the Rugrats, like Nickelodeon, Smiley Face, you all remember.
Yeah,
that.
That was my jam. Yes.
I'm taking you all back. And
Avery doesn't know what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, she was like, what's
I
going
know
on?
Rugrats. That's the only one.
That's the only one I know. But PBS was a big one.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street was huge for me. So I learned English. I started to understand and comprehend. And I remember that very moment when I started in July, I was like, what are they saying on the TV? I have no idea. Till August, understanding. That's how fast a child could learn a different language. So anyway, I digress. So then we didn't know what Halloween was. So then in fall, we come in and we're seeing all these kids dress up, and we're like, what's going on here? Why is everybody dressed up? Like, oh, they go door to door to candy. My sister and I looked at each other and said, are you kidding me? We love America. This is
They're
great.
giving away candy.
Giving away candy for free. So that was that. But we definitely kept our culture for sure. My sisters and I are very tight knit. We have our baby sister who was born in Hershey, Pennsylvania, sweetest place on earth, and the conglomerate of all the beautiful things. And it's just, you think about Lehigh Valley and how it grew with us, right? So I said this on a podcast 2 weeks ago, and our family was planted here, and we blossomed here. And we're grateful for the community that we have. And you see that the Lehigh Valley is like so diverse. Like we have all these different groups of people. You have the Syrians in Allentown, and the Lebanese in Easton, and the Egyptians scattered all among, right? And so many other races, Asians and Hispanics. We have a huge Hispanic population, which I love Hispanics. They're my, I'm an honorary. So the reason that I am an honorary is because I grew up in a very multicultural environment, and I owe a lot to Hispanic leaders and Hispanic people, because not only are they open and giving, but they are kind, they are generous, they care. And I think it is, across the board, something that we need to respect all people. But for me personally, I love the Latin community. They're my, they have a special place in my heart.
Something you said there that really resonated with me, I thought it was a beautiful imagery, was you guys were planted here, right? You were seeds. And I think all of us are planted. But what's interesting is the Lehigh Valley is what? It's the soil. It is what's nurturing to us. And it has to have the nutrients in order for us to grow and be the best that we can be.
Yes.
And it does. I mean, I guess your thoughts on the Lehigh Valley in general. There's no better person, right? Like Discover Lehigh Valley. Let's jump into that. Discover Lehigh Valley is an incredible organization. Give us a little bit of what they do and paint that picture for us.
So Discover Lehigh Valley, if you're living under a rock somewhere.
Can I interrupt just real quick? So I told my dad who was coming on today.
Yeah.
And he's like, is that Discover Lehigh Valley? I was like, yeah. He's like, I love Discover Lehigh Valley. He's like, there's always stuff on Instagram, and I go to their webpage. I was like, easy, Dad, easy. So yes, continue on what.
Thanks for your dad being a super fan. So we're a 501c6 nonprofit organization that is tasked to support and market the region. So there's something called a CVB, right? So Conventions and Visitors Bureau, which was founded in 1984 to bring conventions and meetings and business, so we can market tourism and the things to do in the Lehigh Valley. Now, we have since grown. There are several different organizations. So a destination marketing organization like ours, let's say we're tasked with spending millions of dollars to market the Lehigh Valley. So the attractions like Dorney Park, we're across the street from Dorney, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Easton, Allentown, and the small spots and small towns and the wineries, distilleries, all of the things that we have going on here. We've seen this because our population has grown, right? People are not just coming here. They're like, wait a second, this is a good place to live. I'm only 2 hours from New York. I'm only an hour and some change from Philadelphia. I'm only, a couple, 30 minutes, depending on where you are, to Jersey. So like, those are the things. We're 50%. So we are smack dab in the middle of 50% of the United States population.
Wow.
Yeah. But within a 3-hour drive. So that's really cool stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on the Lehigh Valley Ambassador quiz.
I didn't get 100 on the quiz. Okay.
Did you get Easton wrong?
I passed.
Did you get? Yeah. There is no right. You're always going to pass. There's no. But I'm going to dive into the Lehigh Valley Ambassador program, which is really just a near and dear project to my heart. And what I love about the Lehigh Valley Ambassador program is that there is so many different people from different walks of life. Whether you're a student, a CEO, a mayor. I know that Mayor Reynolds and Mayor Turk and Mayor Panel are all Lehigh Valley ambassadors. Wow. Yep. And there's senators and
insurance agents.
Was that insurance agents?
Yes.
I mean, we have this gentleman, Jimmy. You were probably top 100 Lehigh Valley ambassadors.
It was such a cool idea. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because what's interesting about the program is you sit there and you do learn, right? Like it is, I know what the Lehigh Valley is. I love it. But there's things I didn't know about it. And you learn from a tourism perspective and this and that. And so it's really cool to be educated. And then I think the idea is to go out there and be an ambassador and talk about it and promote it.
Yep. And now we made it even easier. So there's 2 ways, right? So there's that way. You can go on. It's completely free. Less than 20 minutes to take the course. And you learn everything that you need to learn about the Lehigh Valley. And then you're given a digital membership card and our certificate, and you're good to go, right? And then the other way is just sign up. It's a minute. It takes a minute, and you'll also get a digital membership card, and you're able to go out and experience these perks and these discounts. So
let's talk about those, because I have not been taking advantage of them, but you were telling me a little something. So, so what are some of the benefits? And let's go into that.
Yeah. So being a Lehigh Valley ambassador, businesses came on board to the Lehigh Valley Ambassador Program. So we're about 2,600 ambassadors right now, growing. So it's 18-month launch, which is phenomenal. We're hoping to get that more into tens of thousands of people to become Lehigh Valley ambassadors. But the discounts, businesses want to offer an experience, a perk, a discount to a Lehigh Valley ambassador like yourself and me, right? And we're going to get you on to be a Lehigh Valley.
Yeah,
absolutely. I was saying I've grown up in the Valley and I hadn't heard about this.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
So going to a coffee shop, for example, like The Joint in Whitehall or Bethlehem, going to a hotel like the Hilton, you get 15% off. You get another 15% off at Cellar Wine Beast in Easton.
Oh, friend of the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
Cellar
good.
Beast. They're the best.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing wine. Mm-hmm. They have a 98-point wine. And I was like, this is something that's incredible. You know, there's from hotels to attractions to different destinations like the National Museum of Historic NMEIH.
Yeah.
So they about $2 off of their admission. So like those small things. So there's over 44 right now.
Okay.
And it's growing. So what businesses are looking at is the win-win for them. So they get the foot traffic, and then they're giving something to the ambassadors to make them feel special. Yeah. Because what we're trying to grow is that community pride piece. Like, hey, I live here. I'm going to enjoy it. And I get a little something, you know, when I go somewhere. So I go to Drizzle, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
I love Drizzle. Love a good sundae. So they get $5 off of a regular sundae.
Yeah.
Typically, it's like $8 for that. So people, you know, call me the deal lady. I'm getting the deals in for the ambassadors. But I love it because we're marketing those businesses, whether on social, we're marketing it through our e-news, we're marketing it on our website, which has a really strong SEO. So when you search, right, when you search, get the business, it's kind of going to pop up right up on Google because of our strong reputation with Google. So those are really important things. And becoming a Lehigh Valley ambassador, again, anybody can become one.
Yeah.
And we're focusing a lot on the colleges. We're focusing a lot on the students. We're focusing a lot on people like you and I. Leaders are using it for talent retention. So they're giving to their employees and they're saying, wait a second, like maybe you're new to the Lehigh Valley. I want you to fall in love with this place. Yeah. So maybe you don't go to an LA or New York. You could stay here and work and enjoy this place that we live.
Yeah. So. And it's you know, great that they learn about it, but then that there are the perks that kind of keeps them in. And
yes,
ice cream is my love language. So knowing that I can save money on that.
Same with my husband. He loves yes.
I'm sold.
Yes.
Where did the idea for that come from?
It was a team idea. Yeah. So really our CEO had he doesn't like to take a lot of credit for things, but he's just a good visionary. We have a great COO and Bree and our team really just being able to look at that and say, hey, how can we help the businesses market them? This isn't experience. It's a somewhere that a visitor would go to. But really the data is showing that just about 50% of people are coming to the Lehigh Valley to visit you and I, friends and family. So we, as friends and family, want to make sure that these visitors are, they like where they're at. They love, they love this place because we want them to come back.
Yeah.
Right? Stay in our hotels. Please let them stay at a hotel. So you get 15% off the hotel. They don't have to stay in your living room, right? And eat your snacks. Have them go and eat snacks.
Yeah.
And stay at a hotel or do whatever, right? So we want them to go out and experience that. And then the data again shows that nearing 82% of people are coming back from the second time to the Lehigh Valley. So they're coming back and back and back.
Yeah.
And we just, that's our job, is to make sure that our residents are well equipped.
Yeah.
To do that for the visitors.
So you are the perfect person to be at Discover Lehigh Valley. How did you get there? Like what got you to Discover Lehigh Valley? What was your story before that?
Yeah, it was a conversation. I just had a conversation.
Yeah.
I said, I really like what you're doing. And I'd love to, see if there's a way that I can work with you and collaborate with you. I had a really good idea, and it just matriculated. It was the right time. But I do believe in timing is everything. And I think, working in operations at Discover, working with the board, which we're very grateful for. We have a really incredible board that helps guide the organization. And being given kind of reign on the Lehigh Valley Ambassador Program has been not only a passion project, but a culmination of my experience. So I worked in business development. I worked in PR, in marketing, in the Chamber of Commerce for several different events, volunteered. So one thing is like, oh, I want to, go out and I want to be a leader. I want to, go and do this, but there's a lot of time that you have to put in. So the community, you got to sow seeds, and you got to do stuff for free sometimes. You have to, get on those boards and volunteer. I think volunteering is probably the number one thing that I tell people, especially young people that want to get to positions, is that if you're not giving back, you're not doing anything. You're just taking, you're not going to get anything back. You have to plant the seeds within the community. So when it's time for you to reap that harvest, you're going to be reaping something good, instead of going in, you're like, I don't have anything in my farm, because you weren't giving
you didn't plant
back.
Any seeds.
You weren't giving anything back. And I think sometimes there's things that I've said or done and planted I completely forgot about.
Yeah.
And I move on the next thing, and they're like, oh my goodness, this thing came to fruition. It worked. Now it's transformed. And I'm like, that's incredible. And I think it's just, again, we're going back to the planting. It takes a small seed just to really, to bring good things to fruition. And that's what I think people glommed onto the Lehigh Valley Ambassador Program. It struck a nerve because people want to belong, and you belong here. And I feel like my life's mission is to make people feel like they belong. And whether you're Black or white or Asian or Arab or Middle Eastern or have different sexual orientation, or you are here and you're worthy and you belong. And I think that's what the Lehigh Valley does really well. And we collaborate well. We're just not for that hate rhetoric. It's not for us. It's not. Take that off the table.
I love that we had, your brother-in-law, Mayor Willie Reynolds, on here, and now you. Can I please get an invite to Thanksgiving dinner?
Yes, Thanksgiving dinner is fun. We have a great family.
I mean, it's such an inclusive, welcoming environment, like both of you foster, and the sense of community and giving back. Talk a little bit about the volunteer work that you do, the seeds that you are sowing, if you will.
Yeah. So one of those is through education through Northampton Community College, Lehigh Carbon Community College, which are beautiful and great institutions of higher education. I teach at Muhlenberg College as well, nonprofit marketing and fundraising. So if you ever take my course, you know that you're going to be fundraising. So we're not going to be talking about the talking. We're going to be talking and doing. And I had some really great students that, fundraised for several different organizations. And I said, look what you did. I said, those are thousands of dollars that are going to be going to support those. And they did it in a month.
Wow.
They were blown away by themselves. They worked in groups. And someone was like, well, this person wasn't doing enough. I said, you have to, manage, because that's life. You are going to work with people, right? You have to work with people. So I love Muhlenberg. Community Action Lehigh Valley is a big organization that I support. I sit on their board and I chair the development committee. And, you're talking about a $40 million organization almost. And it's a great, it makes great impact on those that are in poverty, that those that, are seeking to build a business, to the Rising Tide Loan Fund, housing, food security with Second Harvest Food Bank. So it just spans so much. And, I love Don Godchell and the development team. Barbara Cochard is there. Just really a good group of people. And our board is second to none. I love them. But again, those are just, small little pillars, not small, but for me, time that I spend in the community to give back. Because one thing about this Lehigh Valley is that it is filled with resources. But we have to connect the resources to people that need it. And I think the people that need it just aren't aware of those resources. So our job as leaders, as people that want to give back, is connecting those people to that and helping them, giving them a hand up. I think of Diane Elliott, who is really the person that instrumental in bringing me into the nonprofit world. I don't know if we should thank her or, she's incredible for it. But she said, I always want to give people a hand up, not a handout. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's like you want to teach people to fish and be self-sufficient and go out and do it. But we're here for you until you feel comfortable to do it. And I think, eliminating poverty and poverty, I'm an anti-poverty person. I want to go out and give people resources so they can go out and really live life the way that they should be living and boost that quality of life. So,
one of my leadership maxims, if you will, is like, teach me to fish. Yes. And you just said that, and it struck a nerve because it's so important to give someone the tools and show them how to do something instead of doing it for them. Leadership is such a big deal for you. You're clearly a leader, not only within, Discover Lehigh Valley, but in the community as well. Where does that come from? How do you, think about leadership as a whole too?
Yeah. Well, first of all, my husband, I'm going to give him some credit here. He always, he instilled in me, he said, look, to be a leader, you have to follow. And we teach our kids that. We have two little guys who are our world, and we teach them, if you want to lead, sure, you have a strong mind, you're wonderful, but you have to follow someone, right? To be able to understand, and be, I credit my parents, right, for all that they've given me. And I always say my mother-in-law too, because she's just like my mom.
Yeah.
And she, just supporting and constantly giving to what this is. And I think when I touch things, I try to do it with my whole heart. And if I don't, then I shouldn't be touching it. And it's under my responsibility. I have to get it done in a way that's befitting, so it's beneficial to everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's other times where you talk about failure, right? Where it's just like, okay, well, if you're going to fail fast and do it fast.
Yes.
Like, hurry up in a hurry. And then move on and collect yourself. And not everybody can win.
Right.
And it's crazy that people, oh, we lost this and we lost that. It's okay. You lost it. Like I always say this in sales. When you say no to me, I'm like, that's a maybe. or it's closer to a yes.
Right. There's degrees of no.
There's degrees of no.
Yes.
There's like a flat out like, no. Oh my, got it. Okay.
Message received.
But like, people are like, not at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are the things that just coming back. I've had way more no's. I've had way more doors closed in my face than the ones that are open. But it's about that optimism and being able to say, I have faith in God. I have faith in something bigger than me, that I know that I'm going to get to the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get to the spot that I know I'm destined to be at. So one way or the other, I'm going to get there.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm stubborn. If you haven't noticed,
we all.
I also can be that way, and I think it's sales mentality. Just like you said, the degrees of no.
Yeah.
My 7-year-old son has very much learned that as well, and it's so funny to I don't know if you see it with your kids, to have yourself in front of you pushing back in the exact same way you would. And it's like,
absolutely.
Wow, this is incredibly effective.
Yes.
Please don't do it on me anymore.
Oh, absolutely. I'm amazed. I am amazed though. The things that you teach children, they, to be kind, to be empathetic, to be strong when they need to be strong. Children are incredibly resilient, and we have to protect them at all costs. Mm-hmm. At all costs. It should be our number one thing as a society, to be able to protect children. And I just think of me as a child. I think of you as a child, right? I just think of Jimmy as a kiddo, Sandra as a kiddo, probably loud and,
Yes.
But me, I was pointing at me.
Well, I was too.
Yeah,
so
okay.
we would have gotten along.
Great. But we have to protect children.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back, I saw a video of Mr. Rogers, and he said, take 10 seconds, right? And he said, watching the clock and think about all the most amazing people in your life that helped you to get to where you are. And I couldn't help but tear up, because I think of all the amazing people, like my grandmother, right? My mom's mom, that I sat next to, and I learned how to cook, right? I just, by the aroma of her in being in the kitchen, and how no one could understand what she put in it. but she just did it with love, right? And I think about her and I sometimes tear up because I didn't get to spend that time with her as much as I wanted to, because when you're, and this is part of the immigration story, is that it's in Arabic, you say ghurba. Ghurba means, it means the distance between us, right? It's the pain of the distance between us. So that's really what it translates to. And just hearing her voice was good enough for me. But, I take what she has given me and I try and instill that with my kids. And I'm grateful that my mom and my family is just tight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man, that was beautiful. How do you have time? I get a lot of people in here who blow me away, and clearly you're one of them. Between Discover Lehigh Valley, between the volunteering, between the 2 kids, how and teaching, how do you find time? How do you do it?
It's a balance.
Yeah,
people are like, oh, it's a balance, and I think there are seasons where it's a lot, and it's like, I'm a little stressed. I need to take some time. I need to find that time for mental health, which is so important. Yeah. Because if you don't, your body and your mind will take it for you. So take the time to get right. So whether what's cathartic for you is being in the kitchen like me, or taking a walk, or going on your bike, or, spending time with a loved one, or getting coffee with your best friend, take the time to do it. Yeah. And so when you do that, you're able to, one, have a better quality of life. And number 2, you're able to go out and say, I can give more to the world, and I can give more to the projects that I'm on. And it's never too late to just scrap what you're doing and start all over again. You can reinvent yourself as many times as you want to reinvent yourself. Yeah. But at some point you want to get into the niche. And I think the niche and the calling of what you're doing, if you could find that fast and in a hurry, awesome, great, good for you. Yeah. I love that for you. But if it takes time and it takes a couple rotations, that's okay too. Yeah. That's all right too. I tell my kids, I said, just focus on what you're good at. Right. And try your best. If you're not good at something, and my husband and I tell our kids that, keep focused on what you're good at, and it'll come to you. Those problems will not be problems when you take a moment. I love problems, actually. Yeah. I'm not a problem starter. Right. Yeah. Maybe. But I used to be afraid of them. I used to be terrified of problems. But now I look at problems as really an opportunity. Because if we can come on the other side of it and say, whoa, we just fixed something that was broken for a long time. Yeah. I think that's the true meaning of, I don't like to say leadership. I think it's like humanship. Right. Just being a human, right? Just let's get to the other side. And, I guess I always wanted to be an ambassador, like an actual, like real ambassador of some country to the United States, or the United States to some country. And it's funny how for me, God moves things and, just keeps things on track. And, you find different ways to give your gift. Yeah. So one thing, and I'm so bummed because we could do this for hours. I don't even know what time it is. We're like losing track of time. This is great. Cooking, is that a big thing for you? You made it sound like, talk to me a little bit about that before we kind of wrap this up. I mean, what do you love to cook? What's your signature dish? Oh, man. You got me in now.
And why didn't you cook it for us?
Yeah.
Shame.
We like when people bring us free food.
I will absolutely. Well, I'm down here often, so I will absolutely. So I have a gifting that when I taste something, I could almost replicate it.
No way.
Yes.
It's like a photographic memory.
Kind of, but for the taste. Yeah. And I couldn't be a chef because I couldn't have someone yell at me. So I'm like, don't yell at me. I just like, that's not yes, chef. Yes. So the way that I got nervous for a second. The way that I cook is that I take a dish, and I'll get into what my favorite is, but I cook across different cultures. Yeah. So if it's Asian, like pho is one of my favorites to cook, the beef stew. Yeah. I replicated that from Phenomenal, which is amazing. Yes. Amazing. I replicated that, and I could make those. It's a chuck roast with carrots, slow roasted, caramelized onion, garlic, it's cooking for hours and hours. And proper pho is made for a couple of days. So it's a couple of days just, I'm drooling.
Yeah, I know.
It's really good.
We're recording this at the wrong time of day. I'm starving right now.
Almost lunchtime. But for me, Egyptian cuisine is my favorite to cook because Egyptian cuisine is a melting pot of all the different cultures. So Italian, Greek, France, the Middle East, African cuisine. So if you think about Egypt, it's the cradle of civilization. It's the truth because Egypt was always home to people that were fleeing something. They were like, they got lost or they needed to go. Like if you think about Jesus, the Blessed Mother and Joseph, they literally left Israel or at that time to go to Egypt for safety.
Yeah. So
and people bring their cuisine with them. They bring their culture with them. So for me, there's something called kolkas. It's a kind of like a root vegetable. And I said that and people are like, what did you just say? It's a root vegetable, kind of like a yucca, but that's cut up. And there's different herbs like green, like it's cilantro, dill, garlic, parsley mixed together, right? Sauteed in garlic and butter and in a chicken stock, right? And then you put that in and you put it with rice, with vermicelli noodles.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we're done here. I'm going to go eat. That was amazing.
I'll go pick up the stuff for that right now.
And it's so easy to make, but it's so homey to me.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Now, the spices that I use is cumin, coriander, salt, pepper. I like to put I love a little adobo. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
My Hispanic friends love that for me. So that's really one of that. And I'm sorry for all that's kind of a vegetarian meal, but I do make the best duck.
Really?
Yeah, duck is that's.
I heard someone makes a really good duck, so you're gonna have to prove it to me, I guess, because I don't know. Okay, well, now that I am sufficiently hungry, we are sponsored by Hocus Pocus Cleaning Services.
Awesome.
They
love Hocus
are.
Pocus.
Do you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love them. They're great.
They are phenomenal. Rosie's the best.
Yes.
And so they do a witching hour, and they'll come in, they'll clean out your closet. It's truly magical what they do.
Wow.
So I like to ask all my guests if you could have any magical ability. What would it be?
What magical ability be?
You've already shown that you're magical cooking.
Yeah, I'm not that. I mean, if I could get a magic wand, and be able to get all my laundry done in 1 second,
fold it too.
Put it away.
Oh my gosh.
In the closets, organized.
Yes.
My husband would love that organization. Boom.
I'm
done.
there.
I think I would just be.
Does it never end at your house?
Huh?
Does it never end at your house? Like
it just, for a reason, I just don't understand it. But I'm fortunate. We're fortunate to be able to do laundry. At least we don't have to do a hand wash and then put it out on the line.
It's a good problem to have.
It is a great problem to have. Exactly.
All right, you positive people. I'm thinking about all the folding I have to do tonight. I'm like, I don't like it.
But I do find a day to do it. But that's the one magic power that I would.
I like that. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Anything we didn't hit that we should hit?
Go be a Lehigh Valley ambassador.
Please do this. Yes.
We need
talk here. Tell the people. Yeah.
Go become a Lehigh Valley ambassador. Just 1 minute. You're going to absolutely love it. And you get to join a community of really incredible people. And we want to highlight you too. So share on LinkedIn, on Facebook, wherever.
Yeah. It's a great program. You do learn so much and you get discounts on ice cream.
Yes. And a lot of other things.
Yes.
And that's growing as well.
Awesome. Well, Sandra, I can't say thank you enough. This has been incredible. So thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the YMI Talking Podcast. If you enjoyed this and want to hear more content from amazing personalities in the Valley, please subscribe, leave a rating, and drop us a quick review.